The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
Aloha no and welcome. Mahalo nui for being here, showing up in support of our youth and their stories and the powerful voices that carry us forward. We gather on this moku of Hilo, a place where rain nourishes growth, where stories are held in the wind and the water, and where creativity and culture has long been a source of resilience and connection. It feels especially meaningful that this is the first time the Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate is being held here in Hilo. Right, woo, yes, ayo! Right after the beautiful Merry Monarch of last week. So mahalo Hilo for having us. Today we celebrate 5 exceptional youth poet finalists from across the Pai'aina of Hawaii. Young people who have taken their experiences, their observations, their ike, and transformed them into poetry that speaks not only for themselves, but for all of us. This program is part of the Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate Initiative, powered by AHA's, the Archive for Health, Arts, and Spirit, in partnership with Urban Word, a national leader in youth literary arts. These organizations uplift poetry as a practice of healing, expression, and transformation. We extend a deep mahalo to our supporters who help us make this possible: the East Hawaii Fund, the Atherton Family Foundation, and Hilo High School, along with the many educators, families, and community members who continue to uplift these young voices. We extend a deep mahalo to Hilo High School 12th graders who participated in a week-long residency earlier this year, planting seeds that continue to grow in spaces like this. Today, we will be guided by 2 powerful community voices. Hawaii poet, educator, and longtime teacher in the spoken word movement, Travis Kalula'au Thompson, a co-founder of Youth Speaks Hawaii, Pacific Tongues, and the Hawaii Poets Society, organizations that have helped shape and sustain youth poetry across the Pai'aina. Alongside Kalehua Fung, the 2022 Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate, whose journey reflects the very pathway that these finalists are stepping into. Over the next hour, you will hear from each of our finalists. These are not just performances, they are offerings. They are reflections of identity, place, of challenge, of hope, and of imagination. We invite you today to listen deeply, to receive their words with openness, and to recognize the courage it takes to stand in their voice. At the close of today's showcase, one of these poets will be named the Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate, but truly, each one of them already carries that ike in the way that they show up, speak out, and create. Mahalo again for being here and for supporting this moment, and for believing in the brilliance of our youth. And with that, please join me in welcoming our co-hosts for the day, Travis Kalula'au Thompson and Kalehua Fung.
Aloha mai kākou. My name is Travis Kalula'au Thompson. I come from Kalihi Valley, Honolulu, Oahu, Hawaii. Thank you very much for having me.
My name is Kalehua Fung. I am Hawaiʻi's 2022 Youth Poet Laureate.
Make some noise for Kalehua, everyone. Thank you for having us in this space, and this is historic theater. We're gonna get the show started immediately. So without further ado, we would like to introduce to you our first poet of the day, coming to you all the way from Wahiawa, the 18-year-old first poet of the evening. Make some noise for Casey Reyes.
In my mau hi'o. Ke ho'omaha au no ka pō, ike wau ia oi. Ho'olohe wau ia oi. O oi kau ulaleo o ka hala. Make au iau e lelo iau. Kono au iau oi e nohu, uvau au no. E hopa kele iau mai ka pōli. E hopa kele iau mai ka kia mua a ku. E hopa kele iau mai iau. Pa'a oi iau. A ole au ike ma manawe hope e aloha au iau. Aka no kia manawa. Ho'oku'u au e aloha iau. No kia manawa, kia moe au. Ho'omaha au ma keia po, no ka mea o kou pumehana. When I retire for the night, I see you. I listen to you. You are the voice of the past. I want you to speak to me. I invite you to stay. I cry out for you. Save me from the darkness. Save me from the future. Save me from myself. You hold me. I don't know how long you will love me, but for now, I let you love me. For now, I sleep. I rest tonight because of your warmth.
Mahalo for that poem. Our next poet is Miranda Yap, 17-year-old from Manua.
The orange. I detested the taste when I was young. Sugary ichor hurt my teeth, hangs circling around, sweet, too sweet. It confused me. I like a fruit that could make up its mind, so my tongue ached, chasing flavors. And the pith, oh the pith, my nemesis great. Spidery veins stick in your teeth, reminding you this fruit is also alive. Summers passed. Sarah offered me a segment from her towel next to mine. Sand warmed our bellies, filling quickly with our provisions before sun stole their integrity. It tastes better cold, she said, hair still dripping salt onto her arms. And when my teeth burst the skin and sunshine poured onto my tongue, I couldn't remember the sickly sweet, the cloying tang, the pith. Bathed in sun, an invincible young woman eats an orange and thinks, perhaps I have been healed from the ailments of my youth. Nostalgia. My mother dressed up seldom. When she did, she smelled of citrus. An elixir brewed bubble baths filled the basin with foam. An amber bottle, turquoise smelling, Tangelo woods. I, wide-eyed youth, confusing elegance with naivete. What is a Tangelo? Where are these woods? Mama glowed when she smelled like orange. Maybe it was magic because, of course, a tangible tangerine could never measure up to that sweet citric scent. Forward. Jab the peel 4 times, north, south, east, west. Twist until you hear a crack like the lid on an ice-cold bottle of water. But skin does not sweat, as refreshing as it is, sitting under a blazing cloudless sky. It tastes like summer weather all the same. Slide a thumb under its rind and gently reveal untroubled fruit resting beneath. Firm flesh arises with each turn, relenting against skin until victorious. I hold my unearthed treasure as its shroud falls into my lap, forgotten for a moment. Then rewind the spiral, a patchwork skeleton of this fruit. A color this vivid, this loud should not exist in nature, and yet, I could name 100 sunsets and scales and flowers and fruits that sport the same fiery hue. I swear I am holding the sun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miranda. Our next poet comes just all the way from Hawaii. Please make some noise for the 17-year-old Safa Ahmed.
Hi, my name is Safa Ahmed, and the poem I will be reading today is Out of Place. Everyone stares at you. Not necessarily in a bad way, but those knives still make you feel blue. All you want to ask is, what did I do? You are the singular dot on the whitest sheet. You are the bird alone on the wire across the street. You are the rotten tomato who could have been really sweet. You are the trigger people see while scurrying on the concrete. People usually stare because they like something that they see. To be liked and admired is all everyone wants to be. However, you are not some ghee-buttered toast with tea. You are not a sunset-flowered, magnificent tree. Your face is out of place and I can't make you out, said Alex G. It's clear he's right, because you're always standing in chains waiting to be set free. Everyone thinks you're odd, not because of your awful social skills. All those knives care about is that you're hiding under long sleeves. All you want to ask is, what's wrong with what I believe? You're a hooded stranger whose hood is not attached to their jacket, and everyone just places you in the barbaric bracket. A hand that holds the knife doesn't have to make a motion. A knife just pointed at you is a thing that brings out your emotions. Covered from head to toe, you always think everyone sees you as the foe, that they only see you with a crossbow, and it gets you feeling so low. Maybe not everyone, but somebody did, clearly did, going back to 2017, when you and the rest were banned live on the big screen. Oh, how it must have felt for them to see the United States close its gates. You're really nice, if only they just wait. Instead, you get a bad review at an alarming rate. Everyone singles you out, which makes you internally pout. When your teacher asks what language you speak at home, the fact she assumes pushes you to go on and write this poem. Are your genes and race supposed to say what goes on in your place? When another asks about a soccer player from the Middle East, why does he expect you not to know the least? Do your covers mean you have it all discovered? They all mean well, but you still get a shark bite from their specific questions. You seem to differ from everyone else, no matter their intentions. Thoughts cloud your mind. Just when you thought you put it behind, they remind. The power that hands with knives hold as they push you until you're confined. Power to shape what you think and make you feel different, force you to feel diffident about your displacement. Your dad says you look magnificent, but all you see in the mirror is somebody different. Monday through Friday, you go to school where you're far from the most. Out in public, you're a visible ghost. They fix on you like you're the coast. Are you so out of place that people can recognize you from afar? Walking across the yard, the knives close in on you and your religion feels like a scar. What you listen to every day has clearly gotten into your head. Sometimes you truly wonder what it would be like if your sleeves were shed. Millions of people surround you, but you still feel like you're in space. So kind, and you wish everyone would see you topped with grace. Why does everyone think you have a giant mace? It seems like there's nobody else of your race. Everyone shows more than just their face. You are so out of place. Thank you.
Our next poet is Maile Dunn, 17, from Makiki.
A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14 reads, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." He calls us a city on a hill. A city on a hill. I find that beautiful and almost romantic. He calls me this broad and bewildering thing, buzzing with sounds and tastes and feelings of home, that is complex and bright and overflowing with people and emotion. Somewhere in a city, a woman is delivering mail, and a little boy is laughing, and a man is crying. A train passes by, and people get on. Birds chirp, a flower blooms. Two friends walk through a tunnel, pushing each other off balance. A father hugs his daughter. "I love you," he says. A city houses brilliant ideas and runs on hard work, determination, love, people feeling and doing these things. It is chaos and confusion all at once. He tells me not to bother trying to hide, because how can I, this city, this light of his daughter, be hidden or concealed when I was made for people to see and know and love and receive love from? Here I give this to you. I tell you that you are a city, with streets and homes and tall buildings that scrape the sky, and cool sunrises and warm sunsets. A firmament that is 1,000 different colors. I am a city, but I began as a house, with 2 floors and a garage, a dog park at the front, a strawberry guava tree bearing sweet fruits, blue paint chipping, and wood splitting. This house filled with a mother and a father and a sister and eventually a brother. This little house that wasn't really a house, but a home that he built. A home that grew to become this great city. More people and places ahead of it. This city now with a lot more building to go. The carpenter sighs, he shrugs with a grin. To him, I am this, a city, something to watch from afar, spanning the horizon as the sun lowers itself to sleep, to soon rise again. Radiant, he calls me. The city glows, and her smile is wide. Thank you.
Mahalo for your poem, Miley. Thank you very much. All right, our next poet is the only finalist to come and represent from the island of Maui. So please, all the way from Wailuku, put your hands together and give a great big round of applause for the 16-year-old Mas Kwan to the stage.
I kou molu, ho'olavo. O ke hapai nei kou uhane, a oi, ke hapai nei kou na au. Nike like no kaua paha. Paha o ku'ukule ana e olo oi e. In your arms, it feels like I can breathe. E hanu, ha. E hanu, ha, ha, ha. You know I swallow my water like the sins I cannot bear to speak. So you give them life instead. Thank you.
Aloha mai kākou. My name is Travis Kalula Al Thompson. What we have for you right now is just a 3-minute treat, so to speak. It is a short video. It's from an interview that I recently did at Hilo High School, where I did a quick 1-week artist in-school residency for the English department, where I was teaching creative writing and spoken word poetry classes to the freshman and senior English classes while I was there. And the, I guess, film department over there went and sent a camera crew to do an interview, I guess, with me during the last period of the last day of my artist residency. And they caught up to me while I was trying to exit the building on the one of the busiest stairwells on campus. So you will see that interview in just 1 minute. And I guess take it away. Make some noise for the people at Hilo High School, please.
Aloha, yeah, I am from ahas.org. We are a nonprofit organization that believes in storytelling and creative writing, arts and education, but also counseling and therapy. Try and help people find healing pathways through trauma-informed education, primarily arts and education. We work with schools and institutions to host different ways to find people joy and healing through arts, primarily storytelling. And for my part, I do the creative writing spoken word poetry part. I believe that spoken word poetry has been a tool for civilization, really, for thousands of years that we've been doing it, as long since before there was an alphabet, and that it's been a communal tool used to build community and civilization, to pass knowledge down from generation to generation. It's been a tool used for teaching, and I think it takes us back to sort of like the foundations of society and history, and there's something that's very communal about it, as well as individual, and it's a great tool for people to learn how to do, especially communicate. There's so much value in it. The act of writing becomes demystified for the students, and that oftentimes writing is taught that you need to spell correctly and you need to follow all these rules, and for a lot of folks, writing becomes this task as opposed to this liberating act. And I hope that if nothing else, that writing becomes a little bit easier for everyone who ever gets or is in one of my workshops, because I try to make it as easy as possible, because I want everyone writing. I believe it's great technology and that it's good for the soul for everyone to learn how to tell their stories, but primarily organize their thoughts on a page. That is such a great technology, such a great tool to be able to visualize and organize your thoughts. There's almost nothing like it. That's what I want all students to be able to see writing as, and not be so afraid about the spelling or the grammar. You can always fix it later. You can always fix it later.
Mahalo, thank you very much to the folks at Hilo High School for making that video. Felt a little ironic being the poetry teacher who uses the word communal 6 times in 3 minutes. And I'm really glad that I am wearing a different shirt than in that interview. I'm also here to do a poem for you folks while we are figuring out and tabulating our final scores. And then I will introduce our esteemed co-host and 2022 Hawaiʻi State Youth Poet Laureate champion. She will also do a poem for you folks. And then we will have our youth finalists come up on the stage while we award our 2026 Hawaiʻi State Youth Poet Laureate Award winner. This poem I originally wrote for a conference that we did. I am, for those of you who do not know, my name is Travis Kalula Thompson. I am here today representing ahas.org. We are the archive for healing and spirit. We are an organization that tries to find healing pathways through joy, creative writing, and storytelling, through trauma-informed arts and education. For more information, you should check out our website. We do conferences, seminars, professional development, and such. And for one of these things, we did a conference around honoring healthy relationships. And for one of these conferences, I wrote this poem. It's called Reclaiming Lilo. It goes, in Olelo, Hawaiʻi, the word lilo means to lose, to surrender, to relinquish, to be gone. But more than a mere possession, sometimes keiki are lilo to silence, sometimes keiki are lilo to hands that do not know how to hold with aloha. Sometimes keiki are lilo to nights where the only lullaby is the sound of the door locking from the outside, the moonlight caught in the bars of a jalousie window. See, 1 in 7 kids in this country will know abuse before they grow tall enough to see over the kitchen counter. In Hawaii, the numbers hide in the shadows between census lines and whispered gossip. The ache is real. It's an undercurrent that pulls futures beneath the tide before they can reach the shore, leaving unclaimed slippers alone on the sand, a half-built sandcastle crumbling in the wind. In America, 5 children die every day from abuse and neglect. Think of them as a crew on a canoe that will never make it back to land. Paddles drifting loose in the current, names uncalled in the morning roll. We should be diving in after them, arms cutting through the water like spears, but too often we just watch from shore, pretending the horizon is too far to reach. 1 in 3 who are harmed young will carry that harm forward, not because they choose it, but because pain is a stubborn root buried deep in the soil of memory, and no one taught them how to pull it without bleeding. See, re-indigenizing childcare means remembering that once children were everyone's kuleana. Auntie down the street, uncle in the next house over, kupuna with stories like medicine. Once we were all net. Once we were all canoe, catching and carrying the young together, mending each tear before it widened. Culture is abuse prevention, not in theory, but in practice. In the chant that teaches the child their genealogy is longer than any shadow of violence. In the hands that we've allowed halamat so no one sleeps on a cold floor. In the meal shared before hunger becomes another form of harm. In the eyes that meet theirs that say without words, you are seen. Because I am tired of the numbers stacking up like lava rock in an unmarked grave. I am tired of the way we let policy outrun practice, the way help arrives only after the obituary, the way help arrives only after the canoe has already tipped. See, we must reclaim lilo. We must turn the word into restoration. We must transform loss into returning. It begins when we see every child as belonging to us. When we braid care into law and law into compassion. When our classrooms, our clinics, our churches and prisons become places where hands only know how to lift and voices only know how to call each child home, so that one day these same children will walk into a room without checking the exits or flinching at footsteps, and the wind will carry their laughter like a conch shell call, like a signal across the ocean, saying, we did not let you go, and we refuse to lose another. Thank you. All right, coming next to the stage, please put your hands together and give a great big Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate welcome to your 2022 Hawaii State Youth Poet Laureate champion, the one, the only, all the way from Kaimuki. Make some noise for Kalehua Fung.
As he mentioned maybe 3 times, I am Hawaii's 2022 State Youth Poet Laureate. It is an honor to continue to work here with so many amazing people. Okay. We are trees of life after fire, standing tall, every inhale an oli, every exhale a song. We are lauhala weavers, weaving past and present in dirt, sand, stone, in heartache and grief, in chant, song, story, tales of loss, tales of glory. My body is my spirit, is the aina, every single thing. Intertwining with one another through aloha, the aha, the binding of our backbones into kaula. We are oli and creation stories in motion. My name comes from a language of oral passage. I come from storytellers where flowers bloom out of the mouths of our babies and the elderly water them. I think of our words as a rock wall. These stories fossilized, keep safe through time. I place my dreams hidden in the language underneath. Kauna works as my underground railroad, a system ready to liberate me. I use this pen as my tribute. Every false narrative I rewrite, every mistranslation erode under reconstruction. I am searching for my na'o, the disintegrating ornamentation of poina and piecing together everything lost. We are eternal when we are remembered. I keep stories of immortality under my skin armor. My pen raised to the sky, paper clutched to my chest, I pray. Awaken truth in the pole above me, so that even if I am buried somewhere at the surface, the tale continues. My art, my story, my sovereignty remains. Aloha e, aloha e, aloha e.
Okay, and we are about to get back to the program in just 1 second. However, there was just one last poem I would like to share with you folks. This one I believe is especially timely. I just wrote this poem a few days ago. And I wrote it knowing that I would come here today and that there would be poet educators in this space and young poets as well. And this poem is about poet educators in a time of war, like now. And it is about a friend of mine who was recently evacuated from the city of Baghdad. He is a poet educator and a teacher. And his job, the university he worked at, has moved him to Nepal, where he is safer than being in Baghdad right now. So this poem is for him. It goes, when our FaceTime cuts out and I'm unable to reach you, I tell myself not to worry. I lie to the mirror and say, the classroom is a neutral zone. It's a sanctuary where the chalk dust acts as a holy barrier. Why would they target a teacher, I say? Why would a poet be a priority in the logistics of a siege? After all, this war is not about you. Half Chinese boy raised in Chicago, grew into a man in Honolulu, turned into a scholar in prison, transformed into a poet at your first open mic. I try to believe the lie that the state respects a scholar, that the artist is a bird in a sanctuary, invisible to the crosshairs of this war. But I am a student of history, and the history of the world is written in the blood of the educated. And I know that when the empire trembles, it is the thinkers that come for first. I tell myself, you are safe in Nepal, far from the geometric nightmare of the Baghdad sky, but the memory of the silenced is a cold weight, and I think of Federico Garcia Lorca, the Spanish poet teacher whose voice was a threat to the fascists, how he was dragged into a Spanish trench and executed because of his songs moved the earth. I think of Victor Jara, the educator and musician whose hands were shattered in a Chilean stadium, the rhythm crushed by the state because a teacher with a guitar is more dangerous than a general with a gun. I think of Ken Saro-Wiwa, the Nigerian teacher activist who stood against the oil giants in the gallows, a martyr for the soil he taught his African students to love. But now, Baghdad is a furnace of proxy fire. And the green zone is a bruised throat, gasping between the U.S. strike and the Iranian retort. You, the keeper of the cadence, are a refugee of the rhythm. You fled the explosions that turn libraries into ash and bone into dust. You are tracing the spine of the Himalayas while the dust of the Mansour district still coats your lungs. See, they target the poet teacher because the poet teacher is the architect of the invisible. They silence the artist because the artist maps the escape. They kill the educator because the educator is the one who names the wound and teaches the next generation how to heal it. But the word survives the war. And the lesson is a seed that thrives on the fire. See, even in the cold shadows of the peaks, far from the burning palms of Iraq, your survival is a kinetic movement. The war may take the city, but it cannot have the song. The empire may break the man, but the classroom of the mind remains unconquered. And your breath is a resolution. And your life is the ultimate art. Thank you. Okay. So we are about to meet for 1 minute, and then we're about to bring our poets up here to the stage, and then we're about to give out our awards. Okay, poets, can we please have you folks report to the stage? Up to the front, please. Okay, so here we go. For your 2026 Hawaiʻi State Youth Poet Laureate Finals, in second place, we'll say that we have a third-way tie, basically, for our finalists. Then we have a runner-up, and then we have a champion. For our second place, three-way runner-up, or three-way tie, we have Moss, we have Maile, and we have Casey. Please put your hands together for Moss, Maile, and Casey. Which means our runner-up for this year's Hawaiʻi State Youth Poet Laureate Championship is Miranda Yap. Make some noise for Miranda. Which means our champion for the 2026 Hawaiʻi State Youth Poet Laureate Championship is Safa. Make some noise for Safa! And then this is when we ask everyone to come and step forward for the photo ops for everyone. And everyone cheese it up, and we'll have make sure that Patty and everyone and Hoku can take all the photos and the pictures and all the press releases.